pride brings a touch of pride and the natural beauty of olive oil to your table. Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Babes, what do? We're still in the house. She's cooking lamb for us today. It's such an exciting time in the kitchen. And we're about to make samp, right?
We are. So, real quick and easy. A lot of people don't make samp because it takes a long time.
Yeah, stamp.
Hey, stamp. But let's just figure yogurt.
Yogurt.
We're gonna put
yogurt to stamp in.
What? Really?
Yogurt. Yeah, she puts yogurt.
Okay.
Yogurt, cream, bun, something.
Just cream, ne?
What are you mnandi?
Bamnandi. Hips.
Seriously?
But.
That's the first time I hear about that ever. That's really cool. I like
Yeah,
to try that.
cool.
So we did the samp and bean mix. We got the speckled beans in here. The trick is to soak it overnight, okay? And that way you don't spend so long on stovetop or, in the oven as well. So this method is really easy. So a little bit of water, soak it overnight, and then obviously wash it through once. And then my trick is adding bay leaves to it. It adds like a nice savory flavor. Why are you smiling? Do you approve?
No, because this is a private school stuff.
Is it a private school? No, it's not.
Yeah, but
It's not. It's bay leaves. It's bay leaves. Babes, you go love. You put yogurt in yours. All right. Okay. Cool. And then now if you say private school, I would go for it. Okay. Butter in with your samp and beans. I mean, why not? It's so good, and it tastes like it becomes super rich and super creamy.
Yeah.
But the trick is, people salt it right now. Don't add salt now. What happens is it makes your bean stuff, and it makes your samp like super chewy. And you don't want
it makes
that.
it hard.
It makes it hard. So what the thing is, once your samp and your beans are finally cooked, then you season it.
So you only put the salt in at the end?
Yes.
Closer to the end, yeah, not in the beginning. Then another trick, don't add too much water. What's gonna happen is...
We put all the salt in the beginning. Boil.
Okay. No, but okay, so the salt is in the butter, right? You're not missing that first level of seasoning. Then don't add too much water. What happens if you add too much water, all those kernels, the samp kernels and the beans, they start moving around in the pot and releasing too much starch.
Right.
You don't want that. Then you might as well just use it as like to glue something together because it literally, it becomes so mushy. So just enough water to cover the ingredients. So at home right now, you imagine that this is my pot. Okay, so lid on, stove top, let it go. The great thing about this recipe is you can do the lamb, do the vegetables, and do the samp in the oven all at once. Put it in the pot, get it in the oven, forget about it. 2 hours later, you're eating.
Yeah.
I just want to show you stove-top method.
But you can forget about it for 2 hours.
Kitchen phone.
Now the vegetables. Because Madiba loved vegetables. True story. He loved eating vegetables a lot and incorporated almost every meal. We've had a couple of chefs on the show that have told us this as well. So we can't do a dish and not incorporate some vegetables. So Kundi, what you got planned for us?
Okay, so just on that prep and go type of menu, that's great because I have a 2.5-year-old and it's so cool to be able to just pop something in the oven or leave it on the stove and, minimal work. So we've got our rainbow peppers. Because we're doing a warm salad, we're going to roast them, okay? And we also have some pumpkin, which we're going to chop up. The nice thing about roasting is that you bring out the savoriness of the veggies. The charred part of it gives you some texture and a slight bitterness, but the best thing about roasting is you get a slight sweetness from the veggies as well. So we're going to chop these up. Are you going to help me?
Can you handle that knife with those nails? You got
So
it.
we're going to do a very rough chop.
Ingoma yakho ikades bathenza amawololo ne lapha bathenza amawololo kuphi kades
ngangikhuluma amaklabha ahlukile kadezi seyadini kaMax yabo indawo eyintswempu koShembe koGagasini
ngaya ke yadini bangijontshela inyama athenga inqwaba yenyama engaka bayitshontshe bayitshontshe inyama yadini
kodwa phela shuthe cha wawunikela phela ngeke ukhulumela ukudla awu ngakhulumela ukudla pho ngeke ukhulumela ukudla wawunikela shuthe wawunikela ayikodwa imnandi inyama yakho
So I have to tell you what this means.
Please do.
So in black culture, right, you can't you can't complain about food. You can't moan about food. You can't, if somebody takes your food, you can't say, no, that's my food. We just don't believe in complaining that somebody ate your food.
All right.
Yeah.
So we say, ungakhulumeli ukudla. Don't complain about not having food or somebody else taking your food.
Yes.
Because it's food, it's free. Everybody should have it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went to a shisanyama in Durban called Eyadini, right?
Alright.
And I was there with my crew, we were chilling. We bought a whole bunch of meat, it got dried, and then we put it on the table. And there were these guys just hanging around, they kept talking to us like randomly. But they kept eating our meat and stealing our meat.
No, I don't know.
And you said nothing.
I think we couldn't see. And I think we literally looked away for like 5 minutes. We looked and our meat was gone.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
So Babes was like,
brave.
ungakhulumeli ukudla.
You wouldn't say so. No.
No, you have
I don't know.
Yabo kungenzeka ukuthi mhlawumbe babelambile yabo. Babona ukuthi hayi nakho inyama ilahlile basaya.
No, that's crazy.
Okay, so since we're going fresh today, what I've got in my hand is rosemary. What goes better with lamb than rosemary?
Absolutely.
Pairs very well. If you don't have rosemary, you can also use thyme. If you don't have the fresh one, you can use the one that's already spiced and dried. I mean, browned and dried. But this is very good. The flavor is amazing. So we're just gonna pull it off the stalk like that. And then we're going to chop it up. It's gonna give a nice flavor to our samp salad.
While you chop that up, let's
Yeah.
talk about one of the most amazing things that happened to you this year, Black Panther. How did that feel? You were, Pella, you were part of the soundtrack?
Yeah.
And Iwololo was playing in the movie. How did it happen? Who phoned you? Who said what? Wenze kanjani?
Yamazi Kendrick ma.
Yamazi,
So, yabo
Wena uyamazi mina ngimbone TV.
Ay, mina ngakamboni ukuthi ngimbone sikhulume kanje.
Okay.
But wafona management yakhe and everything. But sangangakholwa ngathi ayifraud ke le. Ngathi ayifraud le ungazelaphi mina ngihlangana laphi nje naye. And then send ama email yonke into hayibo sabona ukuthi hayibo ngampela sakhuluma ku Skype and everything. So kabe into kanjalo bathi bayithanda zothu ingoma. So ngathi ngathi kathi akho intombazane entswempu la. Queen,
Yes.
Ayikhen.
This is a fantastic dinner party recipe that will certainly impress your guests. So remember to SMS the keyword Clover to 33650 if you'd like to give this a go. And if you missed it, here's a quick recap of the steps.
Made with love by Clover.